Hey, today I'll show how DJI made a pretty cool FPV drone and why everyone hates it. So the first day I spent activating the drone, updating all the nonsense, unlocking fly zones and removing all the power limits on this drone. And that's not a great experience. I wasted half a day and in the end couldn't even fly the drone. Basically the drone just would not arm. I could see a permission to fly on my phone, but the Google still would throw an error about obtaining an authorization to fly in the area. Turns out the DJI Fly app is still so beta. I had to import all licenses manually to the drone before each flight, so it could finally take off. The first thing I have noticed, the video quality is just amazing. I have been flying DJI FPV before, like these custom drones. They do not compare to the new drone. This puts the video quality on another level. Super crisp. I was flying for over 1 kilometer and I still got a crystal clean HD image. And as I was flying, I made a turn over FPV training field, and I noticed there are some people preparing the racing track. So I returned my drone and went to say hi and challenge those guys with my new drone for a FPV race. So we started easy, we didn't even fly through the track, just did some cycles around the track. And you can notice this drone goes 100 kilometers per hour, and those FPV racing guys, we were struggling to keep up. I mean, we were struggling to go as slow as the DJI FPV drone. It's pretty clear why FPV racing people laugh at this thing. You know, it's definitely not designed for races. Even the DJI FPV drone can reach speeds over 100 kilometers per hour. It still feels like a fat and slow elephant next to the real racing drones hitting 200, even 300 kilometers per hour. So it's the next day, let's try something different. Here I see a construction site. I think it will be a perfect place to try some FPV Freestyle. And yeah, I've done many attempts to properly dive this crane or the building, but with no luck. I could crush the throttle stick all the way down on my dive, and the drone still bent like 30% of throttle or even more. Again, this drone is not meant for freestyle. It has a ton of computers inside, and even you can fly in manual, it never actually allows you to fully control the drone like you could a real freestyle model. But that's not surprising, right? Like, DJI are best known for camera drones and the video quality, so DJI FPV is really a competitor for FPV Cinebook class, right? So I have tried shooting a cinematic video, and I must admit I got some pretty fun shots, definitely better than with the Mavic Mini, but it's the same problem. It does not feel like I have a full control over the drone, and as a result I cannot fully control the drone and do shots I want. Plus it does not have any prop guards or anything, so I cannot fly close to the cars, close to the people. And again, to get a great cinebook shot, you have to fly super close to the subject, and without a prop guards, you just can't. Same goes flying close to the buildings and etc. If you are flying a cinebook, you can even touch the wall and you will just bounce off and continue flying. But with this, of course, even if I slightly touch the wall with a prop, the drone will fall. And of course, we do not want that. So in conclusion, You can get some cinematic shots, definitely better than with a Mavic, but it's still nowhere close to competing with a Cinewhoops. And every FPV drone comes with two cameras. One is for FPV video, and another one is for smooth cinematic video, like 24-30 frames per second with an ND filter and a motion blur. And DJI drone comes with only one camera, and that produces amateurish looking videos by default. Many settings are just not right to be used for any professional video. I mean, I could stick a second camera on top of the drone, but that's a whole another video. So look, we have already tried 3 kinds of drones, and with DJI FPV it doesn't seem like good in any of these categories. Yeah, that's right, because DJI FPV, it does not compete with the regular FPV drones. After flying this model for a few days, it seems like the real competition is actually DJI drones like Mavic and Phantom. So this guy, it shoots a great video, but now everyone has seen video shot by Mavic, by Phantoms, and flying this guy is as much fun as driving a bus. Just not exciting. So upgrading to a DJI FPV drone, you instantly get excitement to fly with the goggles. You can fly much more precise, get much closer to the objects, because you feel much more in control than flying this guy and looking at the picture through a tiny mobile screen. The second thing, if you ever tried, computer games, you can play some crappy mobile games on your phone, or you can go for VR goggles and experience like the next generation of gaming. This is exactly the same experience flying the drone. If you've flown Mavic or Phantom through your phone, you get like maybe this much of fun. But when you put the goggles, it's like transforming to another world, and you would get totally different experience, and it's like going from a bus to a sports car. The flying, it becomes fun by itself. You do not look to get a great video or something, you just want to fly and experience the world through the eyes of a FPV drone. Lastly, there is this joystick, and I can make a whole separate video about this, but the idea is exactly the same as with gamers. Until now, if you say gamer, you imagine a guy with a gamepad or something like this, and if you give this thing to a non-gamer, they are pretty much confused what I do with these sticks and all these buttons. But let's put our VR goggles. Let's take our controller, and now it's exactly as a virtual reality. You probably have seen a ton of videos of grandpas trying VR because it's so easy. You take the controller, it's not even a controller. When you put the goggles on, you see a virtual item and you just take it with the hand. It's super intuitive. Exactly same flying the drone. With this stick, flying DJI FPV is as easy as driving a car, if not easier. Like everyone can take the stick and lift off with the drone with just a double tap of the button. We get into the air. You want to go forward, you have accelerator, you just press it and the drone goes. So you look where you want to go, press accelerator, and it's easier than driving a car. And there are even let's say, fake videos where people are complaining that this drone is so bad that when you land it, it bounces and, you know, crashes into something, or you land it, you bounce on a battery and it destroys the battery simply by landing. This is a complete bullshit, and the reason is I have been flying this guy on a super windy day, on super extreme conditions. A DJI Phantom drone in this wind, it would simply tip on a side and, you know, destroy the propellers. If you try to land this tiny Mavic, it will destroy propellers into the grass or pebbles because it is so low. But with this guy, even in extreme wind, you just double press the button and it lands so perfectly. You can see the tether on my controller was going sideways because the wind is extreme, but the drone just does not care. I have landed multiple times and every time it executed a perfect landing. And you know, after watching those videos that you can destroy the drone on the landing, and this is actually a loaner unit, so, you know, I do not want to crash it. I was launching and catching the drone just like with the DJI Mavic. I put it into a normal mode and, you know, I catch it with the hand and disarm it. But you cannot do the same thing with a motion controller, and so I had to try automatic landing, and it's, as I said, the best automatic landing DJI has produced so far. And same with the camera, it shoots 4K 60p. It has multiple navigation cameras. It has all the latest sensors. The HD video goes for 10 kilometers. It's insane. This guy has all the best and latest DJI technologies. And the most surprising part, that DJI is selling this drone with a goggles, with a controller, for a lower price than a regular Mavic. This, like, blows my mind. And I think there is a catch with this drone. So the drone is pretty cheap, but one battery cost 150 euros. And this battery, flying in sport or acro modes, lasts from 5 to 7 minutes. So you can imagine, you need at least 4 or 5 batteries to get the same time as with a couple batteries on a DJI Mavic. So it's pretty much the same as buying a sports car. You know, when you are driving an economic, tiny drone, it consumes very little power. But when you step up to a, you know, sports thing, it goes through batteries like crazy, and you have to have multiple batteries. I got only 2, and, you know, having 5 plus 5 minutes of flight time is really sad. Like, you definitely need more. Or you are a bit more smart and you get 2 batteries. And this guy. Basically what this is just a huge power bank with an AC power socket. So you plug the DJI charger to this huge power bank and you charge the battery when you are flying with the other one. And it takes actually only 20 to 30 minutes to fully charge these batteries. And, you know, by the time I disconnect all the wires, etc., I shoot some videos for my blog. The new battery is already charged. I take the one I just flew, connect to the charger, I fly this one. And by doing this, instead of flying just with 2 batteries, with 5 minutes each, I was able to fly for 5-6 batteries at a time, simply by charging one and flying the other one and just swapping and just cycling these 2 batteries. I'm starting to sound like a salesman of this thing already, but the best part, this power bank cost less than the one DJI battery. So for the price of the 3 DJI batteries, you can cycle with batteries and get flight time equal to 6 or even more batteries. But I think 5 charges plus 2 batteries, I think at least for me it was an optimal amount. I didn't want to fly more than for 6 batteries at a time. In conclusion, you can see why so many people hate this drone. It's not good for racing, it's not good for freestyle, it won't replace a Cinewoop. So everyone who already flies FPV, of course they will bash this drone because it does not offer anything to those people, except maybe better video quality and a better range, because with this guy, as I said, you can fly up to 10 kilometers, and with the regular DJI FPV system you can fly in a real world, you know, up to 1 kilometer at least in a city. So this is definitely better. And another thing I have noticed, the camera quality, the picture in the goggles, it is much crisper. So again, you know, flying these custom drones, now I want DJI to upgrade the camera to match the FPV drone, because it is much better on the FPV drone. But it's just that, just the video quality. As you know, it lacks the performance, it lacks the precision. Even if I want it, I cannot use this thing for, you know, shooting my videos or just flying and doing freestyle tricks. But if I'm flying DJI Mavic or I have DJI Phantom and I'm already bored with those, I want more speed, I want more immersive experience, this is when I get DJI FPV drone. It's like, you know, having a regular car and wanting to experience a sports car. This is when you try this one. And the goggles, this alone is separate experience. If you are used to flying only with a phone, trying the goggles will blow your mind like trying VR game for the first time. The goggles alone are worth the price of the drone. And considering that this drone is cheaper than the Mavic Pro, I think it's more than worth the price DJI is asking. And if you get the power bank, now you are basically robbing DJI of their profits. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos about DJI FPV. You can find all product links in the video description below. And thanks for watching, I will see you in the next one. Oh, and leave any questions in the comments below or suggestions for the next video, as I got so much still unreleased footage with this drone, as I was flying it pretty much every day for the whole 2 weeks I had it. So let me know, should I edit the rest of the footage or just move to the new product reviews, as I have so many other products waiting for a review video too.